Hi, Deb. Are you sitting down? I hope you're sitting down because I have great news. I'm going to start posting YouTube videos, and things are going pretty well because we've already found a sponsor. And by that, I mean I'm going to be sponsoring all of my own videos with my brand, Look About You, and hopefully try to drum up some sales. For the uninitiated, I started a brand called Look About You, which raises money for Focus Hope, a local charity here in Detroit. I thought it would be fun for the first video to give a little bit more of a detailed history of how I came up with the brand. So, like most things in my life, it all starts about my love of Detroit. I grew up coming to the city every couple of years for a sporting event or an auto show, and at the time, the city was really going through it. Its population had declined from almost 2 million to just about 600,000. But anyone who's been here can tell you that behind all of that is an incredible city with a rich history and an amazing heart and soul. When I came here as a kid, there was almost this palpable sense of hope that like clung in the air, and it was this vibe that no matter what that the city had gone through, that the city would never give up. And there was this resilience and something that was so inspiring about how no matter how many bad things happened, there are people here who are ready to do the work to make sure that the city can be what it once was and better. And I fell in love with that. So I had decided pretty early on that I wanted to be one of the first people that started kind of returning to the city after, 50 plus years of people leaving the city. And I was lucky enough to make that happen. And so now that I am here, which I absolutely love it, it's an amazing place. I do know that there are people who lived here those entire 50 years, and they all have their own incredible stories, and they all contributed to the neighborhoods and the revival in each of their own ways. And so I want to make sure that when I came here, that I was contributing hopefully more to the community than I was kind of taking, because as people move back, you have issues with rent prices going up and cost of living and all of that. So I thought I would do my best to offset that. And so I knew that when I came here, I wanted to make sure that I was, doing charitable work. And at the same time, I had this other vague idea that I thought it would be fun as kind of a hobby to start a clothing brand just so I could have an outlet to be creative and to design stuff. And eventually I had connected those ideas in my head where I thought, oh, I want to do this thing as a hobby that would be fun and creative. I also want to try to do something charitable for the community. Oh, what if I do the hobby and then donate all the money to charity? So I'm hopefully using some of my marketing degree to hopefully raise money to help those in need in Detroit. So once I combined those ideas, I kind of got really excited to think, okay, like if I were able to pull that off, what would it look like? And so I started kind of paying attention to certain brands, and you realize that there are tons of brands that are subtly focused on where they're from, or at least they have like this emphasis or this pride in where they're from. And so you see a ton of brands where they are from New York and their shirts say New York, or there's a lot in California, like Hollister, that's entire brand is written about like California. And you see a ton of people that aren't from those places that are wearing their stuff. Another example is a Canadian brand called Roots, which I really like. And it's the same thing where they're very proud to be a Canadian brand, and there's enough there that they're selling a lot of stuff here stateside. Like most people born and raised in Michigan, I do have an immense pride for the state that I live in. And I kind of thought, what if that'd be cool if there was a brand that did the same thing, but for Michigan, where it subtly was inspired by Michigan, but there was enough there outside of the brand that people who aren't from Michigan would want to purchase something and support that brand, and it would resonate with them. And I started kind of putting that together, and was really wondering, like, how would I do that if I had something that was inspired by Michigan, subtle cues, everything was loosely taken from something about Michigan, and then again, there's a wider element to it. And then I thought of our state motto, which is, if you seek a pleasant peninsula, look about you, which is almost a ridiculous motto because it's basically like, hey, are you looking for a peninsula? Congrats, you're on one right now. Nevertheless, I thought about, what if I just took that last part, look about you? And at the time, I was getting really into mindfulness, or at least trying to learn about mindfulness as a way to help with mental health and anxiety. And I thought that the look about you really spoke to mindfulness and kind of the presence that it teaches you to be in the moment, and really focus on your surroundings and pay attention to a lot of the good things that are around you. So prior, anytime I had tried to think about this, the idea ended up being pretty bad. So I was very excited to have one that actually seemed to kind of meet all of that criteria. And so after I got home, I started Googling to see if this brand name already existed or anyone else was like using it in this way, and I couldn't find anything. And so I decided to give it a shot. I, built a website, kind of planned out the brand, and all the designs and got some products ready and then launched. And since then, I've been featured on the news. We've raised a couple of $1,000s for Focus Hope. One thing is when I first started, I was donating 50% of the profits to the brand. And then lately, when I first launched, I planned on donating 50% of the profits I made to Focus Hope and then keeping the other 50 to help grow the brand or do other things. However, a big part of the message of the brand and probably a big reason why people resonate with it or to want to support it is the fact that the money goes to charity, and I don't feel comfortable benefiting from that or like profiting off of that. So lately I've decided that I'm just going to donate 100% of the profits, everything that I make, to the local charity here in Detroit, Focus Hope. That way, all the money that is raised goes to the good cause. And really, I don't have any specific plans for the brand. It's overwhelming at times, and I don't always put enough work into it. But the idea is every time that I can do something, I like to try and just kind of have this curiosity where I get to explore and try things out and have this outlet and, just kind of see if I put something out there, what happens with it. So ultimately, I would love to just kind of see how big I could get it, to see how much money I could raise for charity, because again, I love this community and I want to raise enough money or as much money as possible for Detroit. And it's also just kind of a fun experiment to get to, design products, make content, make a brand, and, overall, we'll see. If you would like to support these efforts, you can go to our website, lookaboutyou.org, and hopefully you'll find something there that you like and want to buy, and that would be great. And there you have it, one YouTube video done. Thank you so much for watching if you've made it this far. I am told that liking this video, subscribing, and turning on notification does absolute wonders with the YouTube algorithm. So for each one of those things that you do, I will give my bud Leland here 2 pats on the head and tell him that he's a great boy. So the ball's in your court on that one. Thank you for watching and have a good day.